Hi, this is Frank Scarcello with Thunder Bay Live here at the Renaissance Cafe, and I'm with Frank Pullia, Councillor Frank Pullia, who is the budget chair of the for the annual budget, and it's budget time. So we got a lot of questions for Frank about the budget, and let's talk about the big nut. The big nut of the budget is how much. What is the amount? And it looks like it's $231 million, Frank.
No, that's the net.
The net.
That's after we get transfer payments, we get the TBTL dividend, we get grants from the province and the federal government. You know, it's important to note that only 60% of the total gross budget comes from property taxes.
Right.
60%.
And the rest comes
from other sources.
Yes. Okay. So, you know, and it's safe to say that since we're talking about revenue, that's the tough part, the revenue. You know, the city, is the tax base growing, shrinking? What's it doing?
That's an excellent point, because many people like to focus on the expenses side.
Right.
But in any business, as you know, you need to also include the revenue.
Right.
Okay, the expenses, the cost of running the business of the city has been going up over and above the 3% of inflation for a number of reasons. But also the city, the tax base has been growing on a healthy base.
Okay.
Almost 2% last year. We brought in over $3 million, which when applied to the tax levy, gives you the tax increase. And that's the 3.83.
3.83.
Now, remember, that's only for this year. The average is 3.2,
Right.
the upper limit, and we will try to bring it up below 3%.
So to bring that below that level, the city provides you with decision packages.
Yes.
Okay. So, and they are available online?
Online, yes.
Okay. So just a question about those decision packages, because in my mind, I can see where they're valuable for city council. On the other hand, I can see where it sort of looks like, you know, city administration is making the decisions for you.
No, they're not making the decision. Council makes the decision.
Okay.
Council has asked for options.
Okay.
Where, in their view, because they're the ones who are running the programs, there would be some flexibility in reductions in program and some services where it has the minimum impact on the delivery of services with the citizens. Now, this is the part of the budget process. At any given time during the year, council always has the option to do reviews of specific items, and that's an ongoing component of the continuous improvement part of the way we run the business of the city. That can happen anytime. So budget time alone does not stop the review.
Okay.
Some people have been asking about a core services review.
That was going to be
But
my
remember,
next question.
the level of services is continuously reviewed. And we started that process last year. And there should be a report coming to council anytime soon.
Because I know
the level of services is going to be reviewed, and then council can look at it and say, okay, should we be in this business?
Right.
Should we run 2 golf courses? Or one should be enough? Like the way we did with the homes for seniors. The city has one, Pioneer Ridge, and there were 2 other ones where the buildings had come at the end of their life, so they needed to be rebuilt.
Right.
So we had an agreement with St. Joe's where they took those other 2 homes over.
Right.
And so the city is now out of that. They still have one.
Right.
We had 3 golf courses. We closed one. We have 2 more.
Right.
Should we stay with one or close another one? Those are the kind of structural changes that are always available to council.
I think the Chamber of Commerce has always pushed for a core services review. So, and it sounds like what they're pushing for is the engagement of some sort of consultant from outside of the city administration, you know, which of course comes with a cost. Have we done that in the past?
Yeah, and yes, at the end of the day, you can hire any consultant you want to tell you where you should be cutting here and there. But if there's no political will, you just spend a pile of money for nothing.
Of course.
There has to be political will inside of council. And we have the qualified people internally that are looking at this on an ongoing basis. Again, you know, for example, we are looking at cost of fire protection. Even though in our surveys people tell us that those are critical level of services, police and fire. Doesn't mean that we got to stop look and accept the way things are. We should always look at ways to improve it. For
Yes.
example, I think the time is coming to reevaluate all the stations in the police. The demographics of the population are changing. So we can look at that and maybe we can consolidate, still provide the same level of service.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, we can close one station, like the one that's protecting the waterfront. You know, now the time is coming to reevaluate all of that.
I think people would be happy to hear that.
Without cutting services, we can provide the same level of services at a reduced cost. Those
Right.
are the kind of structural changes and efficiencies that we need to find. That's how you're going to bring that cost of business down.
And I hear you talking about that a lot, Frank, efficiencies. And what I also hear the city manager, the new city manager, Mr. Gale, and the previous city manager, Mr. Canisso, whenever they talk about a budget getting tight, they always talk about, well, you know, this is as far as we can go, and if we want it to go down further, services have to be cut, as if there's some sort of perfect correlation between a dollar in tax reduction and services. So I think, it's like, so what you're saying is we probably couldn't do the same with less?
Yes, I mean, you have to understand the administration has already been given direction to come in with a 0%.
Okay.
There's been no program increases for a couple of years.
Right.
We're talking about 3% of inflation wages. Now, yeah, we can freeze wages. We cannot freeze the wages that are negotiated through a collective agreement.
Right.
Right? So we can only freeze the wages of management.
Okay.
And we have done that in the past.
We have.
And then the time comes when they catch up again, and then you catch up.
They get it back.
The idea is to run an efficient operation,
And
look for opportunities to grow,
Yeah.
look for savings wherever you need to, and we're already moving in that direction.
Yeah.
And if we can bring this budget increase below the 2%, it's close to the CPI,
Yeah.
and it's lower than the municipal inflation. That means we're finding the savings somewhere else.
Okay, perfect. Okay, well, thanks a lot, Frank. And that's the end of this little installment, and we'll talk to you again. Thank you.